Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And welcome to everybody aboard. It's another hump day happy hour. Salute. And we had, and you didn't care for it today. I think it's old. I think that's part of the problem with it. It's
spoiled liquor. Perfect.
Basically, Bacardi Limon. I thought it'd be good no matter what.
Maybe let's time try, Cardi B Limon.
Oh, nice. Getting all the kids tuning in with the comments like that. Want to give a shout out to good friend of the channel, Primetime Treasure Hunter. He has a secret tip-a-thon tonight.
Nice.
Should be kind of interesting over there. If he actually does that, I don't know. I'm thinking a lot of people on the fly are going to be changing their shows up. We'll get into that in a few minutes, but we got some people here to welcome.
Yeah. Michael was first out the box. MSG's Treasures. Had a good question about the main topic, I see. Lori and Tom are in the house. Eric, between choosing us and Metallica, I guess it's a tie. Don's here a minute late. Angela, how's it going? And, of course, Don the Enforcer's up. 80s on eBay's up. And Ron, of course, is always here, along with Sensible Treasure. So we got all our favorites in the house. We're ready to rock and roll.
The master of puppets is pulling the strings. There you go. Good night, everybody.
Got the mic.
Just been a crazy week, and this show is going to be completely disjointed, and I apologize in advance for that. Our good friend of the channel, Don the Auction Professor, did have a show. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, watch it. He actually went live this morning, cutting in on our territory here with the Wednesday live show. He's been having a few problems on eBay, and I think he probably needs to watch this show tonight as well, because I think he's completely stressed out also. Do check that out. We're going to get a little bit into that topic as well with all the various eBay changes. Got a couple of changes in our show as well that kind of triggered this entire episode also. But let's get into the normal nonsense first. Looks like a couple more people showed up, and then we'll get into the normal nonsense.
We have Michael Sanborn's in the house. Paul Tidwell, of course, he's always here. Joy Goodenough is hopefully good enough to watch our show tonight.
I see what you did there.
Book Guy's in the house. Oh, Book Guy, Papergoy. All right, maybe you guys have been friends in some,
We're like, yeah,
we went to different schools together. Yeah, of course. Alan Nelson, of course, from Minnesota. How's it going in Minnesota? Oh, my longtime friend Aaron Whitmore's in the house. You know Aaron, Gil's old buddy.
Yeah, I do know Aaron. Yeah.
Hold on, and CJ Gordon.
Couple of quick comments over here. The warehouse tour. A lot of people are liking it. A lot of people are tuning in. Part 3 just aired. We didn't shoot this last weekend, but we're going to be shooting, I think, part 6 or part 7 this coming weekend.
Nice.
Pretty much one question that everybody had. And so I'm going to ask it to you right here on air.
All right.
Why do you not use a thermal printer? Multiple, like 3 different people said they were surprised by that.
You should know the answer to that.
I do, but I'm turning it over to you.
I'm not the smartest guy around. Okay. I used to be tech savvy back in the 80s and 90s. Well, now forget about it. But with our system, maybe because we sell so many different items, shapes, sizes, weights, we're on eBay, we're on Amazon. We did try it for a while, and I think it would work on eBay because you're only getting the one sheet. So I don't know how to get it to work on Amazon because I print back and forth. I'll print eBay, I'll print Amazon. So on Amazon, you have the order page, and then you have the label.
Right.
So I would have to, I guess if I had to do it, unless there's an easy way to do it, I have to print the order page on one printer.
Oh, and
then switch my settings to the thermal printer to do the label. Now, I would love to do that. If there's an easy way, please send it over. I will definitely pay a finder's fee to save us time and money because my packing manager is looking for something nice, quicker, and efficient. But unless I'm doing something wrong or I'm missing some little tidbit of tech out there, I don't know.
So basically, just everybody out there, just to tell how the system works.
And I do have 2 thermal printers. I bought one for my shop and one for my warehouse. So, if you give me up and running, I certainly will use them.
Basically, just anybody out there, the way the order shows up on eBay or Amazon, and Mr. Magazine prints out the order sheet, at least on Amazon he does.
Yes.
And then he then prints out the postage, staples them together, and then the finder uses that top sheet. It says box number whatever. They go to find it in the box, and then they cut the label off. That's how they do it on Amazon.
Right.
On eBay, because it all shows up together, where at the bottom of the postage sheet it lists the box number and all that. He does it that way. The exception being, of course, multi-orders.
Right.
Multi-orders or overseas orders, you do have to print out a separate sheet from eBay as well and staple
Correct.
it much as you do on Amazon.
And sports cards.
And sports cards, yep. So that's the reason why, but certainly he's open to changing. But that being said,
and I think I tried using you as a guinea pig on that too. And you're going to experiment with those half sheets.
Yeah,
the
and
printer
their
and
stickers are still sitting somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know
all
where.
right, all right.
Someday.
I bet we do that. We get that figured out before Instagram.
Nice. So that's the short answer to it. I haven't figured it out yet. I guess that's really what it comes down to. Want to give a quick thanks out to Primetime also, who did feature finally the Madison Bachville show that he had gone to and that he had met me at, and I was on the show, so that was really good.
Nice.
He put me on, giving a couple of bolos over there and everything like that. We picked up some new subscribers off of that, so definitely do check that out as well. It's part 2 of his Madison Bachville. I think he titled it something like I don't know, the antiques took over this town or something like that. It's within the last week, so you'll definitely be able to see it, but definitely worth watching. You'll see Papa Papergoy too, as
oh, nice.
as Dom called him.
Yeah.
All
right, we got some late arrivals, and by late I mean a few minutes late. CJ Gordon, Catherine's in the house. John Jones, like usual. Paul's in the house. Alan Nelson, always. Lovely Michelle, lovely Dawn, and Adam.
There we go. Not lovely Adam. Jeez.
All right, lovely Adam.
There we go.
He's got a good question I'm going to answer a little bit later. Oh, all right, we'll throw this.
Bring it up. Yeah. Like I said, I already warned this is a disjointed show.
Is there a market for autographed 8x10 pictures? Well, yes and no. Depends on where your market is. I've been stockpiling since COVID. I've been stockpiling autographed jerseys, autographed baseballs, autographed photos, and I used to sell everything on eBay, and I'm kind of changing my tune to that just because they're not bringing what I think is their true value. There's so much competition on eBay. You could have Willie Mays sell for $50, and he should be $100, $200. I mean, it depends on the certification, of course. So if you're getting them cheap and you want to sell them cheap, I think eBay's the way to go. I don't even recommend getting them authenticated because they're not going to go much more that you're paying for the certification.
I would argue with that unless you got somebody super rare.
Right, yeah. If you got Babe Ruth, certain legends and icons, of course. But even Mickey Mantle, you can sell them. Mickey Mantle 8x10 can go for $75 to $125, and that's ridiculous.
What would a certification on the Mickey Mantle run you?
75 minimum.
Okay. Yeah. But that might be one where you might get it certified.
Yeah. Yeah, I would get it certified for that price. Yeah, you'd get that extra. At least you'd get your money back on it, and you'd know it's real. Problem is, if it's not real, then you're out the money. But better than selling a fake autograph.
That's true too. Yeah.
You can try Amazon, but I heard Amazon's real tricky with the certification. It's got to be from JSA, PSA, Beckett.
Yep.
You might be able to sneak in some no-name photos. Signers of people that aren't Hall of Famers, $10, $20 ones without certification, but for the big name guys, you definitely need COAs on that.
Well, and that's crazy too. Just a quick little Amazon. I haven't seen Amazon Seller 99 yet, but I'm sure he'll show up. There's I don't want to say scam, but almost, I think it almost is a scam, a buyer scam out there where it happened to you, as a matter of fact, recently. And I'm trying to think of who it was. It might have been a Sports Illustrated magazine.
And on Amazon.
On Amazon, where somebody or other had listed one as being signed. And then everybody went and listed off of that, but they listed it as being signed in the item description area as opposed to in the title.
Yeah.
So if you go on there and you see the Sports Illustrated, you just say, "Oh, that's the Sports Illustrated I have," and you sell it. And they were selling for like $4, and the person said, "You said it was an autographed one." Like, what are you talking about?
It was like Julius Erving, and they're like, "You really believe you're going to get a signed Julius Erving for $4?"
And there was a gentleman that both you and I, back about a year and a half ago, sold Sports Illustrated with Rocky Blyer on the cover.
Yeah.
And the gentleman bought mine, and he bought yours, and I'm sure he bought 5 other people's. And then he sent this nasty email. "This was supposed to be signed." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Nicely. I don't believe it. I looked at it, and sure enough, somebody or other had changed the description to say signed.
After the fact. I don't know how they can do that, but it's been done many times over the years.
And it was like, $4 or something like that. I just said, "Just keep it. I'm sorry. Well, the guy probably, I'm pretty sure you told him to keep yours as well." Because, obviously you read it and you go, "It does say signed. I see what he's saying."
Yeah, sure.
But that isn't what we were selling. It wasn't what it said when we listed it. So the guy's got a nice pile of Rocky Blyer. He's
Crazy.
probably Rocky
Yeah.
Blyer's neighbor,
Yeah.
and he's got tons of them now that are signed.
Crazy. Alan's got a solution here. Print your Amazon invoice on your thermal printer, easy peasy. Well, you definitely make it sound easy. We have done that. We can try and attempt that again.
What size are the things that come out on the thermal printer?
Now
They're
the ones I
small?
have, they're small. They're like 5x4x6 maybe, but we're going to use the half sheets of paper, which I would like better because then you can get that half sticker, half paper. Then you can do eBay easier because you got the label on one side and then the order on the other.
Right.
But you
Right.
never tried that. You just wasted money buying the stickers and never did. But Don is correct. We did mention a while back. If we're doing 300 items a day, I think we figured it out.
Well, that's with the stickers, not with
With the-
thermal. The actual thermal.
The
Yeah,
thermal,
that's with the
they're still
stickers.
going to be pricey though. If you're doing 300 stickers, you're talking 2,000 stickers a week at least. I don't know what it is per thousand.
You would have to run it against the cost of the ink is basically what it comes down to, or the toner, and that's
or
really
if it's
cheap.
really saving the packer. If it's saving a packer 20 seconds per, I mean, probably not that much, but if you're doing 300 items a day and it's saving them 4 or 5 seconds times 300, then it adds up to something.
Right.
So.
True.
Says, yep, there's definitely a market for autograph 8x10s. Fortunately for me, I do have a retail store and I do some shows over the year where I can have a better outlet than eBay or Amazon when it comes to some of that stuff.
See, and I do sell them from time to time, no certification on eBay. Bought from one of two things. Either I buy them from somebody who I absolutely trust, or number two, it's somebody that nobody is going to fake the autograph. There's not a lot of demand for it in the first place, or it's from some big collector, and you can just tell from what it is.
No one's going to report you for Kevin CZUR autograph. I mean, they're not going to think you're fake. Even if it's fake, no one's going to report. Then they would not know or care the difference.
Right. Yeah, it goes for $8 if I've got it.
Yeah.
The photo probably costs more than the autograph with some of those people.
Exactly. Wrestling is hot. New wrestlers, the classic wrestlers are huge. Some of them that are deceased, so they go for good money. Definitely certification, or if you have photos of them signing them at the wrestling events, is even better.
And after a while too, you figure out from the collections what they are. Obviously the guy, I've only got Ty Cobb and I've got Babe Ruth. Okay, thank you.
Get them certified.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got these things over here. Oh, I'm a really big Buffalo Bills fan, and you see these people on there. Oh yeah, Thurman Thomas has come to the shows around here. This guy's come to the shows around here, and he doesn't just have the stars too. He's got I can't think of any Buffalo Bills players. Steve Tasker, and he's got all these other players over like that. You're like, yeah, okay. Oh yeah, Fred Smirlis. I know he's set up at a show over here or whatever. Yeah, these all make sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Ties it all together.
Captain Kirk. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Exactly. Yeah.
See what you did there.
Someone said you have Captain Kirk stuff. Sounds like, why'd he die? He goes, no, he went in outer space. Like, all right. So.
There you go.
Either way. Brian's in the house. How's it going, Brian? All right, let's see. Oh, Aaron's got a question for Dave for Papergoy here.
A little time.
That shot and glue.
I was gonna say change you up to the seat over here. So let's get into the normal lead up over here. Buys and sells. Any buys or sells for anybody out there? I'll turn it over to you first.
Where do I actually wrote this down. I had so many buys this week I couldn't
remember. There Amazon Seller 99 is.
There is, yeah. Of course, better late than never. I actually wrote all these buys down in my warehouse because I had so many this week and I left the note at the warehouse. But the best.
All right, we'll wait.
Yes, the Best Buy was I didn't go to Best
Buy. Nice. That's what you did there.
I bought
we are not sponsored by Best Buy.
I bought an estate out a couple months ago. It was about 30-40 minutes away, and tons of DVDs, Star Wars comics, toys. It was just I loaded my white box truck up twice, so it was a great deal. They were going to throw the stuff out. It was a friend of a friend. Well, anyways, they finally sold the house, and they found another truckload of stuff buried deep into the basement that they were going to throw. And they go, well, we might as well call Chuck again. And they actually delivered it this time.
Oh, wow.
And it was tons of Star Wars comics, new and old, probably 500 of them. 25 original Hess trucks from the 60s and 70s in their boxes.
Oh, nice.
Boxes were a little rough, but we cleaned the trucks up. They're excellent.
Don't list them as collectible on Amazon.
No, definitely not. They're going on eBay. Let's see what else did they have. The best part of it all was they had over 20 to 25 original Star Wars figures from the 70s and 80s, unopened in the original package, where I was to upgrade and get some for my collection that I did not have. So that was a pretty good score for me.
So anybody out there that does list Hess on Amazon, that little aside I made there, you've gotten quite a few warnings on that. Must
Yeah,
be what
yeah.
it must be, as I think about it, is there must be a couple of years that the only way you can list them is as collectible.
There is, that's the whole thing. There's like, I think 94, 90s. There's a couple of them where they just wiped out the whole. You on Amazon, you can't even buy them because they wiped out the whole inventory.
Oh, I wonder if those could those be problems with
Could
small
be.
parts
Yeah,
or stuff
yeah,
like
it
that.
could be a
There was
possibility.
choking hazard
Yeah,
or something
but
like
it still
that.
shows
So-
up as a whole collectible thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've had those ended on there.
Yeah.
Any other buys or sales?
Let's see. The friend of a friend from the warehouse. So,
Hey,
yeah,
there you go.
there you go. Perfect. I scored another storage unit buy from him. Magazines. He had some signed posters. Gary from Henrietta showed up today with tons of autograph stuff. He loves to show you. He loves the bantering between you and I. So I had to tell him we go back like 30 years. So
A lot of bannering.
of course. But, what else? Lots of magazines for some reason. And, I do have another free deal. A lady called up. Her friend from California was sick and sent her out 5 tubs of Xena collectibles, autographs, toys. And she said, I can't drive if you come pick them up and get them for free. So I'm going there tomorrow to get 5 tubs of Xena collectibles, which is pretty cool.
And you'll bring something to hand her.
Oh, yeah,
a gift card or something like that. Just be, or at least make the offer. Yep. And that's to everybody
I've been
out
trying
there.
to pay it forward at the shop when people come in to buy stuff.
Okay.
If it's $5, I say $1. If it's $10, I say $5. So I feel like, pay it forward some way, somehow,
They're at least aware that it's 5 and you're going to them for 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Doesn't do much good if they have no idea. Like,
I did get mad at a lady today. Okay, so I bought today from this lady. She's been bringing me in autographs from, I think her husband passed away. He knew maybe Ken Kaiser or went to those shows or the Red Wings Association, something he knew. So he got a lot of like Oriole autographs and stuff, game used bats. So I've been buying from her for like 2-3 months now. I'm very fair. She's happy with it. And then she wanted to learn eBay.
Okay.
I said, I'll tell you what, I don't have the time, but I'll let my employee show you. She said, how much? I go, free of charge.
Right.
I go,
Yeah.
He can probably teach you 15, 20, 30 minutes, just bring a notepad, take some notes so you know what to do. So I did that and I was being nice because she's a good customer. So she comes in today and she's got a few bats and a lot of the stuff isn't great. I take the good with the bad and I'll make a few bucks. But
You take them both and there you have.
There you go.
The facts of life.
So she had like, they were beat up and they weren't game used. They were beat up bats from, I think they might've been game used, no name Red Wing players, but like Jose Canseco signed one. The number on the handle didn't match up. And then Paul Molitor signed one, but the autographs weren't great. And, on eBay, you're talking $50.
I was going to say 40
they're
to
not,
$50.
they're not really worth a lot of money. Then she had baseball signing Sharpie, nothing great. Like Brooks Robinson's all right, but signing Sharpie, so I offered her $100 and she had some Pokemon pack that she thought was worth 500, was worth a couple hundred. So she goes, well, can you show me what the Jose Canseco's worth? So I went back there, and I'm busy, and it's just, I'm taking more time in my day that now I feel she's not trusting me. So I printed out a $50 one. I go, this one's in better shape. It has a certificate. This one's 50. So yours is really worth less than it. She goes, well, and she didn't even know who these people were. So I could just tell her they're nobodies, they're not anything, I offer her $100. So then she goes, how about this guy too? What's his name again? 10 times she must have said Paul Molitor. She didn't know who he was. I said, he's a Hall of Famer. Canseco's not. So I go look, print it out again, $45, $50. And she goes, all right, how about giving me 125? I go, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you 100 because 1, I feel like you don't trust me. And 2, you just wasted 10 minutes of my time not trusting me. So if you asked for 125 5 minutes ago, I probably would have done it. But now, I got stuff to do and I feel you're not. She goes, oh, I trust you. Then why do you want me to prove to you what these
Right.
worth? I go, we've been dealing for months. So,
right.
Maybe she caught me and rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. But, she left okay, I guess. But it is what it is.
That does happen sometimes. Then
Yeah.
you do your best to smooth it over. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Wanted to shout out to everybody out there in the feed. How are your sales? And that might be a loaded question over there. eBay's been making some changes. How are your sales?
Believe it or not, I'm not going to complain this week. Sunday was better. It wasn't the best day, but
Pete Lecoq, his
is he
look
French?
him up.
Is he
His father, was it Peter Marshall? He's related to a game show host, believe it or not.
okay? All right.
If I remember my worthless trivia right, and I do know a lot of worthless trivia, I'll have you know.
Perfect. But
Hey Harry, how you doing? Good to have you aboard.
he's lurking and listening. All right, sounds good. But Sunday sales were very good, much better, and this week has been tremendous. Probably the last week or so since last Wednesday, I think sales have been up daily. But I think part of it is we're getting my novice listers, they're turning into almost veterans where I can give them some eBay stuff. So I feel comfortable giving you more eBay stuff. So we're putting more eBay stuff on. Obviously, it's showing with the sales, so it makes sense.
Wondering if anybody else, I know that Don had mentioned he did no sales overnight with all the category changes and everything, and we're going to get into that in a few minutes as well. But I wonder if everybody out there, how your sales are. My sales are actually very strong. I cannot argue about that. Don't know why. I guess I don't sell in a lot of, neither do you. We don't sell in a lot of the effective categories. We don't sell very little in postcards. I generally speaking don't sell photos, don't sell glassware, things like that. So we're not affected in those categories, just for the most part. Might be a thing here or there. Oh wow,
yeah, that's good stuff. I picked up some Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and some of those role playing games too. I picked up like some sealed ones. So yeah, it's all good stuff, definitely.
Made a few sales over here as far as Etsy. Last week I never gave you an update. I sold 0. This week I've sold 3. So it's
so you're averaging 1.5.
There you go. As they said when I asked the guy who ran the elevator business, how's business? He said it's up and down. Viv's Views sold nothing. Sold one thing on $1 Million Peddlers, one thing on Hip Comic. And believe it or not, Random Neighborhood Kid actually sold something.
Oh, it's about time. Where's the balloons?
Woohoo, confetti. He actually sold the Starbucks cup that we talked about that I picked up.
Nice.
And the only reason why I picked up the Starbucks is, as we had talked about in one of the videos, which you really should watch because it's a pretty good video, about loose lips sink your eBay ship or something like that. The only reason I even knew Starbucks stuff was good was I overheard a couple of people talking about it at a thrift store, and I said, "Oh, I'll keep my eyes open." I wanted a church sale, and Random Neighborhood Kid ended up selling one.
Nice.
So you can't argue with that. I think I paid a quarter for it or something like that, and it went for, I don't know, $15, something like that, $10, something.
Nice.
But for him, he was happy as anything, and hopefully he gets a positive on it, and then hopefully they increase his selling limits a little bit. That'd be really nice over there.
Well, Harry, golf clubs are selling. All right, I think you should talk to Aaron about golf clubs. I think he scored a ping worth like $500-600 at a at a flea or something like that. So hopefully Aaron sold it by now. If not, maybe Harry can point you in the right direction.
One quick thing over there. Just wanted to tie into last week's show. We talked about soccer bets, and I had mentioned Bronze Age comics a lot of times being one. I did sell an action comic, and I don't remember the number, 423 or something, just a common action comic. On Amazon, and I thought about it because I started laughing. I listed it in 2013. It's in VG defined shape, so it's in decent shape.
Yeah.
$4.13. And it's a comic book that people look at and go, "Oh, that's from the 70s. It's got to be a couple of bucks. I got to charge you on it." You're going to end up losing money on it because it took me 8 years to sell, and I bought a pretty good collection of action comics about that same era. And I sell about one every month and a half.
Suckers,
They really are sucker bets, tying into last week's live show on a lot of that stuff over there.
You're almost better off going back in time to what year was it?
In 2013.
Bring in a bathroom, read it in the bathroom, and then you run out of toilet paper. At least you don't have to buy any toilet paper.
That's true.
You would have made more money that way.
Started the pandemic. It would have been really, really good to have done. Did go to the flea, spent $2 on one magazine, and that was almost like a mercy buy. It was just like, I haven't bought anything, I'll buy it. I mean, I'll make money on it because obviously I wouldn't have bought it for $2 if I wouldn't make money. But really nothing there. But this coming Sunday is the last flea, so that'll cut out that buying opportunity for me. And then I'm going to Cleveland end of next week. The gentleman on the Craigslist actually got back to me and said, "Yeah, we'll set something up when it gets closer." And I'm thinking to myself, it's a week away. How much closer do you want to set something up? So I've got the couple of buys over there in Cleveland. So that should be interesting to do. I may do a video off of that. We'll have to see how that all works. It's going to be a very, very packed weekend.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hopefully we're going to South Carolina in the next month, hopefully.
And that was actually another question I had over here. If you do miss the show, what I will do is we'll have Random Neighborhood Kid. If for some reason or other you can't make it back in time, we would have Random Neighborhood Kid special guest.
You're not going with me? You're going to go.
Oh, South Carolina. Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one.
Oh, that other one. Yeah. That one. That's still a question. They're both question marks, but I think I got a better shot of scoring the South Carolina deal than going to Florida.
All right. Yeah. There actually is a deal we may be looking at in South Carolina. And if we do that, and if we're going to try to figure out how to do a live show from the road, that would be kind of fun to do. Get a different background, get the back of a hotel room there, order room service right in the middle of the show. Should be interesting.
Well, maybe we can do it in the house itself, the hoarder's house. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, we could definitely do a video over there for sure.
Right. Samuel's listing more and selling more. Yep, that's the name of the game.
Something and that definitely works. I've got just over, I was mentioning my sales on eBay are pretty good. a lot of weeks I have, as everybody knows, Mr. Magazine and I list everything at auction first, and then we move it into the store afterwards. A lot of weeks, slower weeks for me listing where I'm kind of busy or just not in the mood or don't have stuff I like to list. I might have 75 to 80 items up at auction. So that works out to what, 10, 11 listing a day. Now I do list a little more on weekends, but 4 or 5 a day during the week and then 12, 15 on a weekend, whatever. I've got 223 items up at auction right now. So I was pounding stuff out over the long holiday weekend.
Nice.
Surprisingly, my sales are good. Funny how that ends up working. You list a whole bunch of stuff, you drive a whole bunch of traffic.
Yeah. And like I told you, we had a full house parking lot with, everyone listing. We got 12 listers now. We got 2 more open bays, and you're trying to tell me to hire more guys. So I might hire more people for Christmas. Why not?
Yeah, Michelle, charging when you change
that's
the price of the items. I'm going to get into that as well. I did notice one price problem or one fee problem of mine, and I'll tell you what I'm doing about that in a few minutes too. We're going to, when we get into the burnout, because trust me, a lot of people are feeling burnout right now with all of the eBay changes. There's no doubt at all about that. Crazy. Oh, I did over the holiday weekend, I did get all the Christmas stuff listed.
Oh, nice.
So I just said, I'm going to list the Christmas stuff, period. I absolutely have to do it now. And I did get everything listed. Sold 2 items so far out of it. I do the offers on the auctions, and somebody made a fair offer on 2 items, and I sold those out. Nothing else has a bid on it, but I know that it will. So do get your Christmas stuff listed if you haven't done so already.
And I got my Christmas trade cards on as well. So.
Oh, sales getting better done. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So that's good to hear. Everybody out there is doing fairly well. Like I said, I've heard other people are having some problems.
Kyle's got a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Or for me.
Ship station. Oh, okay. Yeah, you've got the.
Did we look into that? I think years ago we may have looked into it. I don't know if it's changed or if it's more user friendly, or at least for our system. I don't know, but it's definitely something to look into. I don't like making big changes now. With Christmas coming up, I like to stick with what I'm used to.
Oh, you're not eBay?
No, exactly. But it's something we will probably, we can definitely look into it and see if we can implement.
Well, you have, don't you essentially have the same thing through Sellbrite?
Yes, we could.
You could use Sellbrite as your hub and do all your printing off of that too as well.
I think I'm more like, and I went to look at that as well. And I'm more worried to screw something up with the different platforms. And I'm just comfortable doing what I'm doing now. It's working. Obviously, I like to save time in the morning by printing orders if it would save me time, but I'll most certainly look into that after first of the year. Though.
Yeah, probably after the first of the year is a good time to do all of that stuff over there. Couple of other quick things. Did go to a there you go. I did go to a church sale, and it was actually a pretty good situation. I was at my day job, and I knew there was a church sale, so I happened to be near it. I stopped by the church sale, spent $5.50. I picked up 12 items, 11 items, something like that.
Yeah,
and got them all listed that afternoon. And that's the best of all possible worlds. You pick it up, it's all listed, it's all put away. You don't worry about it until it sells. Doesn't clutter the house up any. And 11 items isn't a big deal, but for paid 50 cents a piece for it. I know one of them was like a book from 1847, as a matter of fact, and they wanted 50 cents on this book. I said, I'm pretty sure I can make money on an 1847 book. So the stuff is out there. You just have to be out there. And I do know somebody did ask in the comments, and do comment on the videos. Oh, do hit the like button. Do comment on the videos, because we do respond to all the comments. And they had asked how you find church sales, and this was just one that I happened to have found earlier in the week because I was driving by it for the day job.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, what luck! I'm near there when the sale starts for my day job. So I just took my lunch over there as well. Cool. I do wish, and if anybody out there knows a spot that's almost an aggregator for church sales, definitely do let me know. You can find them sometimes on Facebook Marketplace, the garage sale area. Sometimes you can find them on Craigslist. Sometimes if you know what church sales are having the sales, you actually go on the church's website and they'll list it there and all that kind of stuff. But I've not found the churchsales.com or anything at all like that, which would be really wonderful if you could find that, because
you should start one up. Just like Auction Zip, Church Zip.
Church Zip, there you go.
So Kyle, Sellbrite's no good for printing labels. Well, Sellbrite's not good for a lot of things. I have to have it, but there's so many issues with our inventory. Maybe because it's too massive. I don't know, but we have lots of inventory issues with things that are +3, -1, and we don't know how that happened. But
Well, and then you were saying sometimes stuff doesn't seem to be going over.
Yeah. And definitely interested in learning ShipStation. If you want to give us a little tutorial, reach out to us and we'll see if it works for us. We definitely appreciate that.
Oh, one other thing I mentioned last week, and it turns out I was wrong.
Wow, that's the first.
The 14, you can print things above 13 ounces on eBay. So 14, 15 and 1 pound, they are still available on eBay. The change I saw must have just been for the USPS.com website directly on that. So you can still do that. So that's good to know. Another couple of other things over here. Want to thank the subscriber who commented down below. Something or other for a lot of people to be thinking about, and I wasn't aware of this. The mail is slow, as we're all aware, and it's going to be getting slower.
Yeah.
And he had pointed out that, hey, I know Walgreens is tied in with, I think it's FedEx, I think he said, and USPS as I think CVS possibly as a drop-off spot and all that kind of stuff. So certainly if you do want to use those alternate carriers other than the post office, you and I are both set up easily to ship things out the post office, but it's always good to know a backup way to go. And there are times where it does save you money as well. I know a lot of times on stamps.com, when you're printing something out, it'll say savings alert. Yeah. And it'll tell you, you could ship this for
UPS,
this way doing UPS.
Right.
Well, if we could figure out a good way to do that, and again, to save 48 cents, it's not worth, totally screwing your day up. But if we could get into a pattern of doing it and you say, hey, I know that the store just up the street is a drop-off point for them. It might be something other to look into, something to keep in the back of your mind, because that's always the biggest thing when people want those things is, how am I going to get it to them? How am I going to, where's the FedEx box? Where's the UPS store? I don't want to drive over there. Right. But knowing that there are the third-party locations to drop off, that was a tremendous help. And I want to thank the subscriber who mentioned that to us as well.
Speaking of the post office, I had an issue today.
Speaking of which,
I had an issue today that I've never had since we started. So we sold a Monster magazine for like $20, about 7 to 10 days ago. So about a week ago, the guy goes, there's no tracking. I said, well, let me track it down. It hasn't been received by a post office, whatever. So we looked in the box. It wasn't in the box. I said, we must not have had it. I go, if it's not in the box, there's no tracking. I'd never printed a label.
Well, you never printed a label?
Well, it said nothing. No label ever. No label was printed. So I said, give me a few days. Let me try and replace it. So a couple of days goes by. He goes, no luck. I said, I can't find one. I go, give it a day or two. I don't know what's going on. Let me try and contact the post office, which I didn't have time to do. So we're talking 10 days later. He contacts me today. He goes, I just received it, and it was not scanned from start to finish.
Oh, wow.
So when I made the label, they never scanned it, and when they dropped it off to him, they never scanned it.
So you had a label, but there was no scanning.
Right, but there was no proof that I had the label. They never scanned it ever. They just took the box and brought it to his house, whatever, point A to point B. Could you imagine if they do that with thousands of packages or
right. Well, and he could
people
put
are
in a claim
flip out. Yeah, people are going to flip out.
Well, or he could put in a claim with eBay and he'd win.
Yeah,
because you can not prove it got to him. So
I can't believe they would actually deliver it and not scan it. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
All right, let's see. Jim Lloyd 254 is in the house. Oh, appreciate it.
Oh, definitely do appreciate that.
Definitely, we're in high regard with the auction professor.
There you go.
Can't beat that.
And no, that's true. Try to use more UPS through pirate ship. Okay. Yep. Yeah, it's I haven't started using them yet, but I will.
Well, you got to be my guinea pig, So see if
I'll do it right after we figure out your Instagram.
Oh.
We're not a political show at all, but I don't know if you noticed this or not. And there's some interesting. I did want, because we were talking about drop-off spots and all that. Walgreens. Did you see what they did out in San Francisco?
No.
I'm going to make a long story short because I don't remember all the exact parts of it, but California changed the laws as far as shoplifting goes. And I think it's $950 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Anything below that amount is a misdemeanor and above it's a felony. Okay. So have you seen those videos of the people in Walgreens literally like grabbing their gym bags and just filling it up with stuff and walking out of the store? They literally are just walking out of the store as everybody's standing there watching them.
Are they counting up to $950?
They must have a pretty good idea there where it's like, there's $20 a piece. I can take 10 of these.
Their phone calculator, their watch calculator.
So they're literally just filling up bags and walking out.
And are they getting the bags in the store too? That would be even worse.
That would be even worse.
Steal the bag and then put the stuff in the bag. Actually, I've seen people do that at Staples.
And New York City has a similar thing where there was one guy the New York Post was talking about that had 54 shoplifting arrests in 6 months. And because they've got that bail reform going on, he's been allowed out every single time. Crazy. And again, innocent until proven guilty. But if you have 54 times you've been arrested for it, there might be something going on. The reason I bring that up is because Walgreens literally went and they've closed 5 of their San Francisco stores, and the numbers were crazy. They said the shoplifting at those San Francisco stores was 5 times the chain average. And
That's crazy.
they try to put in security measures.
Yeah. Well, you can. It's cheap nowadays. You can put those metallic stickers on there. And then you got the sensors at the door.
Yeah, but the guy doesn't care. He's walking out. Yeah, he doesn't care.
I've had guys walk. I've seen it in Staples. They're walking. Then they sprint once they get to the door.
Their security costs 46 times the chain average out in San Francisco. So they just said, we give up. We give up. And I bring that up even though if you're selling a lot of the new stuff, this is your competition.
True.
These are retail.
They can afford to sell it cheaper than anybody.
They can sell it cheaper than anybody because they have nothing into it. They just walked in and they picked it up.
If they're smart, they're probably throwing it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace where it's not getting monitored, where eBay is easier to get monitored by the police and so forth.
Well, then again, they probably don't care when a lot of these people don't care. Yeah. So I just thought it was fascinating, though. 5 times the average for the shoplifting and 46 times the chain average for security measures. Absolutely insane. One other quick deal that I ended up going, not scanned several things. Yeah, that's Eric. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what's going on there. So we had a sale that I went to within my day on Friday, and it literally was a barn with a whole bunch of well, they raised horses, so I don't know what you call them, not exactly stables, but they had the spots for all the different horses on the way back. And each of those was filled up with things. And it was just a great old sale. Old push mowers, a lot of old tractors. And I walked into the place and it was just the barn. And first thing I saw was a bunch of old tractor manuals.
Where was this at?
Out in Penfield. So it's about a 15-minute drive. And a bunch of old tractor manuals. Now, I don't do overly well with them, but I know they're pretty good. So I went and took a look. Yeah. They had 10 of them. They wanted $100 on it. I said, oh boy, that's going to be one of those sales. Right, exactly. So I walked in the back and they had a bunch of books, and I picked out a couple of books that I wanted. And then I went up to another part over there and bought a few things that I wanted. I was spending $25 and contacted a buddy of mine that does the same kind of thing as me. And I said, hey, did you go out there? Oh yeah, it was really, really good. I said, oh, okay. Then it was okay for me. Maybe I'll go back the next day. And there was also a sale he told me to go to in Perry, New York, which is about an hour and 15-minute drive. And he said that was worth going to. Same kind of deal, a barn where you just dig through stuff. Right, that's cool. And it's amazing up this way. We are blessed if you do the estate sales up here. And I know that a couple of our viewers, a couple of our subscribers have mentioned they just don't have this stuff out by them. You've got something out by you. So whatever it is, know what's out by you, whether it's a lot of really good church sales, whether it's great flea markets, whether you've got a ton of thrift stores, whatever you happen to have near you, work within the parameters. We are lucky here that we've got big old barns filled with stuff. If I lived out in California, I probably wouldn't have that. And I'd have to change how I did things. So change how you do things to what your area is. I think that's the number one lesson. I ended up not going to that sale because I said, I don't want to drive an hour and 15 minutes. I really don't need to drive that far for stuff. So I went back to the other sale the second day and ended up just New York Times from the 50s for $1 a piece. Just crazy stuff. Sold one thing that'll be showing up in a future bolo. Paid $2 for it. I sold it for $200 in one day. Nice. Just crazy, interesting stuff over there. Just insane that stuff is out there, I guess. And I kind of was looking back over my buys that I've made throughout the years. And I'd say upstate New York, this area, there's probably 4 to 5 buys a year at estate sales that you just absolutely have to go to. And you're going to you just wish you had a bigger vehicle and more time, because you're just going to stockpile good stuff at it. And that makes up for the sales you go to and you walk through and you're like, the best thing to have is a broken bread machine. And you do end up with those sales as well. And I know people make good money on bread machines, but I'm not one of those.
I think you need to buy a bigger vehicle. Seriously. If you're going to step up your game next year.
Yeah, at some point. Certainly we'll retire.
We know they only hold how many Life magazines?
Yeah, right. Only holds 880 Life magazines.
Maxed out at 800 Life.
I did go to the dealership and I said, I just need to know, what is the Life magazine capacity? And the guy
Yeah.
just looked at me like I was crazy.
That's a perfect car for that. Yeah. No more, no less.
The road can hold 880 Life magazines. How many magazines can this hold? Oddly, nobody else figures things out by Life magazine capacity. It's very odd.
Got a lot of California talk going on. Hot garbage.
Oh.
Entitled shoplifter. Sure.
Work retail. Yeah. Yeah. The thefts are that high, and the largest systemic problem, and the thefts are a symptom. Well, it's that, but it's also from what they're saying, what they were saying both in New York and California, that some of these are just absolute just rings. They're just rings that end up selling the stuff, and they send the people out knowing full well that nothing's going to happen to these people if they get caught. Right. Probably are addicts. I would think a lot of them are. And hey, we'll give you, you just fill this stuff up with this, bring it back to us. We'll give you $100 or whatever the case is.
Sure.
And it's sad, actually. Oh, we're going to get into the main topic about burnout, but I did want to ask you, or ask everybody out there, a question about whether you knew this or not. Right now, the post office isn't shipping things to, I don't know, 9 countries, 11 countries. And I think you tried to ship something to, was it Micronesia?
Yes. Yeah.
And stamps wouldn't allow you to ship to Micronesia?
No one would, because I think it was an eBay one.
It was Amazon. It wouldn't let you.
Yeah, it wouldn't let us. And then we tried stamps, wouldn't let us.
Yep. So you can't ship to Micronesia, which I'm sure we're huge in Micronesia.
It's not a big loss. That's first time in 25 years. So,
but you can't ship to Australia. You can't ship to New Zealand, other places like that.
There, yeah.
So I had a situation where I got a return from Russia, and then the guy reached out to us through the $1 Million Peddler's email, and he wants the items sent back out to him, and he's willing to repay shipping and everything. And I said, no problem. I said, let me just look into whether the post office is delivering. And I said,
sure it's going to get there a second time.
Yep. And sure enough, they will. But one thing on there is they will return the things. If you ship them out to Australia and that stuff, they will return it to you. The Postal Service will, upon request, refund postage or fees on mail return due to the suspension of service. And I don't know how many people know that, but if you went and bought the postage upon request, they will give you your money back.
I'm sure it's not an easy process.
I'm sure it's not. That just is crazy. I shipped it out, 3 weeks ago. They shut it down today. Now I have to jump through a bunch of hoops to get my money back from the post office, as opposed to them just refunding it, or somebody refunding it to me because they know that I shipped it out.
Right.
Obviously, they had it in their hand. They see what I paid for it. Nope, I'm going to have to request my money back. And I guess the other question is, why wouldn't I?
Well, yeah.
Other than they make it a tough product.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not like we're talking a 53 cent standard envelope.
Right.
You're talking $20, $30, $40, depending on what you shipped out. So just to let you know, you go on now the other thing is, it did not tell you how to request the thing back. It just said upon request. So I don't know what you do on that.
It'd be nice if they hit a little click here to get your money back. And that's it.
But then you can request it.
Yeah. It'll probably say, call this number and good luck.
What do you use for storing large format antique sheet music? I either use, if they fit in the banker's box, I put them in a banker's box. If they're too big to go in a banker's box, then I've got a spot on top of the shelves that Random Neighborhood Kid and I built. I'll keep saying that I helped build them.
Sure.
I put them up there on top. One little thing to do in a case like that, though, put down a piece of cardboard first, because this is a shelf that's got a lot of the, what do you want to call it? The
diamond or the X's?
Yeah, what do you call that? The grating, I guess you would call it, for lack of a better word. It's got the grating. So I don't want that sitting flat on the, over time, that especially you get some weight on it, that might damage it. Mm-hmm. So put a piece of cardboard down first. So that way the cardboard is the thing that goes against the grating if you're using a shelf like that. Gotcha. So look at it, insider tip.
And Paul Tidwell says you can bag and board them as well. If you need to do that, you don't store them like that, though. Only when you ship them.
The only way I would store them like that would be if they're very valuable or they're very delicate.
And you can buy top loaders, but they're going to be, say 11 by 14 top loaders, probably $5. So
yeah.
But if it's $100, if it's a rare one, it would justify it only.
Yeah, if they're, and that's another tip that I've learned over time. If you are putting something in storage that is a bit fragile, which a lot of the old books and that sort of thing are, or you have books, the covers are almost off, et cetera, which happens. Mm-hmm. The boards break off over time. Bag them up before you put them away. That way, the condition that it's in when you put it away is the condition it is when somebody buys it, because otherwise you put it in the box as it is, and then you move stuff around in the box to find another thing, and it starts falling apart.
Yep. For sure. Nancy's in the house with a little tidbit.
You sell to several of the banned. I thought you said banana country, the
Yes.
banana republics, banned countries through pirate ship. I believe they use a different. Yep, and you can a lot of
Very
times
cool.
through eBay Standard International will allow you to do that as
Okay.
well.
Michelle's using it to Russia. Very cool.
This ended up being a case from what the gentleman said. It was his local post office that didn't deliver it to him. He more or less said he took care of the problem. It almost sounded like his postman was on the take, and he didn't lubricate the guy with a little bit of funds, a couple of rubles, and the thing just got sent back. And he goes, "I've handled my local postal problem." That's good. Good to hear. All right, we're going to head into the main topic over here: avoiding burnout on eBay and Amazon. And this topic came up because you came in Monday morning, and I was sitting there doing the doing the work for you over at the store.
Yeah.
And you said to me, you basically asked me how my weekend was, and because of a couple of things that had happened the week before, and you didn't hear from me all weekend long. And you were concerned for me. But you left me alone, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, if it was an emergency, obviously I would have pursued it. I think I left one voicemail, I text you, and I just, an email. I think I sent you one of each stuff. And any questions pertaining to the business, obviously you answered. But as far as what's going on personally, waited till Monday to see what was going on with that.
And basically, it was a combination of things, and the long weekend definitely did help. Not to bore everybody with my problems. Some things going on with work with the supervisor, who's not a good supervisor. We'll leave it at that. Then I had a situation where random neighborhood kid did some laundry. That's not the problem.
Is this a rambling story?
That's not a rambling story. Right. I go in the basement, and there's water all over the floor. And I say to him, I go, "Why is there water over the floor?" "Oh." Was it there when you started? Which doesn't give me a lot of troubleshooting clues. So, of course, I'm there. I'm feeling around to make sure all the connections are good. And I'm saying, okay, there's no water dripping from where the water comes in.
Right.
Could it be when the water's leaving? What's going on? And so I'm like, I just really don't need this right now. I don't need water in the basement. Finally figured it out. What it was is I had a dehumidifier next to it. And the dehumidifier has a couple of little seep holes.
Yeah.
Those got clogged up. So I had to go and I took a pen, which probably isn't what you're supposed to do, but I cleaned the seep holes and it ran right, and then everything dried up nicely. But I was stressing, why is there water over the basement? How am I going to handle this? Right. Then I got a
well, you do realize there is a laundromat called Leone's Laundromat, 610 Stone Road. If anyone has this issue in Rochester, like Papergoy, bring your clothes there. Okay, go ahead.
There's also a dehumidifier business. I can buy a new dehumidifier. Then I had a situation where, you remember how a few months ago I talked about how I had gotten insurance?
Yes.
And the gentleman had come by
for business
insurance. Yep. And the gentleman had come by and done gone through the whole place and everything. Well, I get an email and a letter from the insurance company. You talk about being open-ended. You need to have fire extinguishers. Send us pictures of them mounted. And that's pretty much the entire thing. How about a little bit of guidance? How many do I need? Where do I need them at?
Well, I got a friend I went to school at Rondequoit Extinguishers. He's right up the road.
There you go.
I do. They'll come in and tell you. You probably need a couple.
I'm thinking I need a couple. I got a handyman that said he's going to pick them up. Yeah. But I was laughing. I told the handyman about it. And I go, well, I'm not fry oil goy, so I probably don't need the kind for grease fires. I probably need something for paper fire. Yeah. So we're going to pick a couple up and put them up. And it's not a big deal. I have till the beginning of November to get it done, et cetera, et cetera. And it's not even going to be a lot of money or anything like that. But now I got to figure out where to put them at. I got to have him come in. I got to do all this. So that was happening. And then I was out at work on a case that the not good supervisor had sent back to me to do. So I'm not happy to start with because I'm wasting their time, wasting my time, but I'm out there, whatever. I'm getting paid for it, whatever. And I get an email, and basically you have been booted from the eBay partner network. And like 3 emails, boom, boom, boom. And that's why I did not do the shameless plug today, because I'm still trying to work through this whole issue. Long story short, we had put a link on dirtymagazines.xxx, which I was unaware wasn't allowed to be done. somebody had purchased through it. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you purchasing. But apparently that triggered something or other with the bot, and period, you're banned. That's it. And no appeal, no nothing. You're not eligible to rejoin, et cetera, et cetera. So here I am out at work. These emails are coming in, and I'm trying to read them, trying to make sense of them while trying to do my day job. And it just was very, very overwhelming. And I know how this dance is going to go. I did email them. I've not heard back. I emailed the help. The help said, well, you emailed this other department. We really can't do anything. They said you were banned. We can't really do anything. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to wait a set period of time, give them enough time to respond, which they're not going to do. Then contact help again, then ask for a supervisor, then ask for a supervisor. And I mean, between us, we have 200,000 positives on eBay, good track records. We didn't do it on purpose. And why would we shoot ourselves in the foot? That's
why
idiotic.
Can't they just like with PayPal? They hate the .xxx. I mean, if I have had local issues with the police regarding that .xxx, PayPal booted me. Why can't they just give you a warning and say, hey, take it off? You can't do that.
Yeah, take it off. And if it's not off within 48 hours, we're going to do this. So, that just all added up to not being, I was not in the best of moods. And so then what I ended up doing is I did go out to the sales, which are therapeutic to me. But I did something that I've not done in a long, long time. I left the sale. I took Mrs. Papergoy with me, and we just drove. And I've not done that in a long time. And I was actually on some backcountry roads, just looking at the leaves changing and all that. And it recharged my batteries doing that. And you definitely do need to get away from it from time to time. And I think early on, somebody in the comments there said that they go out to their cabin.
Yeah, cool.
And you just need to get away. And, part of it is the fact that I've not had 2 days off in a row.
An extra day too.
That definitely helped. Yeah. And again, and then I watched Don's video this morning and want to know what everybody else's experiences are with eBay as far as categories are gone. People are getting charged extra that they basically eBay's moved stuff around and they ended up charging me $1 gallery plus fee on a postcard, which they're not supposed to do. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a look at my invoice, or not my invoice, but my charges. And I'm just keeping track of all of them that they end up charging me $1 for that they showed. And it's one so far. And I took the Gallery Plus off of it too.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to contact them afterwards because they're definitely going to have the mechanism in place. I know Auction Professor had mentioned that he got 34 $1 charges within like a 5-second period.
Oh my God.
And he was saying on his video this morning that he knows people that have gotten thousands of dollars in extra charges.
So what I've had any, I don't know.
We're going to have to go into your invoice, and everybody out there, definitely go into your invoice and take a look. And they'll stand right out because they will be for $1. And then it will say what they are. It'll say something like upgrade fee or something other like that. That's what mine said. And I clicked on it. I took the Gallery Plus off just because I don't want any problems going forward. And certainly it's a $10 item. I can't afford $1 a month on a $10 item. That's been listed since 2010. That will bankrupt me pretty quickly if enough of those happen.
I got 160,000 listings, so who knows? I could have $2,000.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yep.
And they'll refund it all.
They're going to have to, I'm sure. I mean, a lot of people are having problems. E-commerce Bites was having a whole article about it, and like I said, I had one. I went on Vivs-Views. It had 0 as of this morning. So it kind of put my problems in perspective as well. And that's always a good thing to do as well. You just got to step back and you got to say, as bad as things are, they always can get better. And again, nothing that happened over this past week was terrible. I didn't lose any loved ones. I didn't, get diagnosed with a disease, anything all like that. It was just a lot of stressful things all at once just because of, work basically. Yeah. Makes you wish you were retired. So what do you do to unwind? And you have to do something though.
Well, I did start working out again. I found a way of working it into my 20-hour day. So before I would take that nap, I'm getting up a little earlier, but I'm still taking like a 45-minute nap in the morning, then hitting the gym for 45 minutes to an hour. And then at the end of the day, I come home because I got like an hour of, time, just kill time. My kids get football. So I figure I can go, because the gym's literally 2 minutes from my house. I go there again, do some cardio. I like doing that. I put my headphones on. I'm by myself. I just think about business, whatever I want to think about. So I enjoy doing that. Then, I'll try and eat before that because I want to do that intermittent fasting. And then after that, watch a few shows, and that's about it for me. Yeah.
Rather than going to the gym, why don't you just carry boxes around the warehouse?
I do that sometimes. I've been helping other employees. Like, oh, let me give you a hand with that, you know. But yeah, I enjoy doing that. And now that I have a system, I'm gonna try and move some of this COVID weight around and get ready for the holiday season. Because once that comes around, I won't have any free time. So I got to do it now, I think.
Michelle, that's the shameless plugs that we always gave, where I mentioned click on it and to put a cookie on your computer and you can buy, et cetera, et cetera. Currently, we are not part of the eBay one, but again, we're going to fight for reinstatement and take it up the chain as far up as we need to take it. And again,
we did take them off both eBay and Amazon. You still have Amazon going, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, still have the Amazon.
But we took it off that site, so there's no issues, no linking of it. So very good.
Yeah. And again, you definitely do need, and I think that a lot of people are probably more burned out just in general, just because of everything going on in the world and everything, that's been going on for the last 20 months or 18 months or whatever it is. And again, I mentioned, I haven't gone anywhere. When I go to Ohio, that will be the first time since I went on the buy with you that I've left the state, where I love to travel, and I've not done that whatsoever, and so on and so on. So it was just a lot of things that piled on all at once for me.
Sure.
And again, I got it easy. This is first world problems as far as things go.
Yeah.
But definitely love to hear what you end up doing, how you end up stepping back away too, because I think that's one problem. I think you're watching this, you're choosing in your spare time to watch something to help better your business.
Yeah.
You're probably a type A driven personality. You just are, because what you're choosing for entertainment, a lot of other people are sitting there watching, what is it, the Squid Games or whatever that thing is. People are watching that.
I really enjoyed that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I like those type of shows.
A lot of other people are sitting back and watching a Netflix show right now. You're not. You're watching something to improve your business. So that, you probably have the same problem that Mr. Magazine and I have, where it's tough to step away. Yeah. So do let us know your little secrets, whether it's you meditate, whether it's, you go for a long drive, whether you haven't taken the time for yourself, because you absolutely do need to do it, and you need to do it now. Because for 95 to 98% of us, you're not going to be able to do it Black Friday or Cyber Monday.
Exactly.
You're not going to be able to do it then. Now is the time to recharge your batteries.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, eBay does what eBay does with the category changes and all of those. It makes it tough. And like I said, Don, the auction professor, was saying that he was actually getting routed to eBay UK for help, because their help desk locally the American help desk was so overwhelmed with people complaining and having problems. And that's another reason why with the partner network, I'm holding back. I'm going to let this whole thing go, because what am I going to do? They're not going to, it's all hands on deck handling these other problems. They really don't want to hear about our petty little thing as far as that goes. So and that also gives more time for them to not respond. So that way I can say, I contacted you and it's been 3 weeks, as opposed to I contacted you, it's been 4 minutes. You haven't contacted me back.
Yeah. Sure.
So that's just that. And do want to know, again, how you guys relax and everything. And also want to know if you had any problems with all the eBay changes. Now, I did notice when I went to list on Views yesterday, I guess it was, you could choose the category, and they did have postcards, topographical, non-topographical. So that was all set up using the, what do you want to call it? The categories selectors across.
Right.
So I selected non-topographical and clicked on it.
Right.
And down below it said collectibles, and then everything after it was blank.
Oh, great.
So
would it even accept that listing?
No, it wouldn't accept it, because it had no category at that point. So even though I was clicking through on the top and choosing the category that I wanted, it didn't take it. Luckily, I was listing a Disney postcard, so I was able to list it in collectibles Disneyana.
Right.
And that's an acceptable category for it. And so, I got my listing done today.
Sure, yeah.
Another thing that happened, it happened a couple of times on Monday, which should have been my first clue that they were making some changes on the site, was a couple of different times I had my listing and it was on Papergoy, and I was doing the regular listing.
Yeah.
And I was clicking through, List this magazine, no problem. List this magazine, no problem. List the next magazine, no problem. Go to the next one, go to list it. You have not specified a return policy. You have not specified a payment policy. You have not specified a shipping policy. And I'm like, what? So then I went there to drop down and they were completely blank. And the only thing you could do is X out essentially, go back. Luckily, it had saved it as a draft and then start over again with it as a draft. And then the stuff was filled in. And that happened about 3 times. It happened twice on Monday. And I think once yesterday that happened. And when you start seeing these glitches on eBay, you know, again, why are they changing the payment policy? It's managed payments.
But they always seem to do this stuff close to the holiday season. They
Yes.
make these big decisions and big changes. It's, you know, wait till January.
And that was the big thing that Auction Professor was talking about as well. Is like, you know, I mean, do watch the video. He did have a live video today. Do watch it. It is informative. He himself went out and called it a rant. It is very informative. He did look like he was gonna blow a gasket, and he came this close to saying the F word about 4 times. And he said that he had originally done a video that he was going to post that wasn't live, that he did say all that and was bleeping it all out.
Crazy.
Some people will say, yeah, bleep, 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 bleep.
Yeah.
I mean, he blew a gasket. And I can't blame him. I mean, these are people's livelihoods. You're heading into the 4th quarter and they're making all these changes. And again, I wasn't able to list. Now, let's just say that I wasn't listing a Disney postcard. You know, it's not a big deal because, you know, I'm listing 1 postcard a day. It's not the end of the world if I don't list it. But what if that were my business? What if it were, you know, I took the day off of work just to list because? What if, you know, people have different situations or something or other's happening next week that they know is happening. So I want to get all these postcards up now because I think they're going to sell going into it. I've got this. I just picked up a killer stack of Halloween postcards. I want to get them listed. Now I can't list them. You know, these are people's livelihoods and, you know, things happen, but for shooting yourself in the foot, I guess would be how I would put it, which eBay seems to have done on this and are charging $1 extra on these different items and so on and so on. So definitely do check your invoice, just check the charges that are being made and keep track of them. And I'm certain that at some point, you know, it's not like I'm going to call eBay and say, I want this $1 back. No. It's not worth my time to call back for $1 back, especially when my expectation is it'll be more than $1. So I'm going to just keep track of them all. So I would suggest to everybody out there, do look over there on what your recent charges are. I'm changing them proactively. I'm taking them out of the category or, you know, taking them, unchecking the box. Oh, the other thing too is I did click on it. It was a postcard. I clicked on it. Now, most categories, what does it tell you on the gallery plus?
Go ahead. Yeah. We're changing next week. Instead of the main topic, it's a rambling issue of the week. And the reason I want eBay to fix their issues is maybe I can get a word in edgewise next week. What do you think?
No, not going to happen.
I tried.
What does it show when you're listing in Gallery Plus, but they're going to charge you? Well, you probably don't know.
I don't even know.
Listing.
Yeah.
It'll say,
but you have to check on it, and it's $1.
There'll be a checkbox there, and it'll say right next to it, it'll say Gallery Plus, and it'll say right next to it, it'll tell you how much the fee is. And then you go down on the bottom, and the fee will be showing up. So it'll say 35 cents or $1 fee, whatever it is. And you go on the bottom, and you see how much your fees are. I got charged $1 on this postcard. I clicked on it, you know, to take it off.
Right.
It said fees may apply. That's literally all that it said. It didn't say $1. It just said fees may apply.
Is it possible that all my listers have that on there? They don't even know it. I mean, because they're listing 1,000 items a day, 2,000 items a day.
If they're switching between categories and things like that, hopefully
they shouldn't be. So, and this is just for eBay. So we only got 1 eBay person at the shop, magazines, and we only got 2 or 3. Yeah, and I don't think they switch categories because one person is doing cards, one's doing magazines, one's doing
definitely tell them to take a look on the bottom and make sure it says fees either 0 or fees. I believe it's 15 cents if you're listing a magazine at auction. So tell them, you know, if you see a number other than 15 cents or 0, stop and step back. Because we did do a video about that as well. Remember back in the day, the $100 per item listing.
I think my magazine lister would catch that. He's been doing it a long time, and he's like a machine. So he would certainly catch $1 on there if it changed. And he doesn't go back and forth. I don't think so.
Yeah, so that seems to be where the biggest problem is. You go back and forth.
Crazy.
So always do be taking a definite look as well down at the bottom of what your fees are before you hit submit.
Yeah. Looks like I'd like to go disc golf coursing with Enforcer one of these days. Sounds like fun. So maybe you can, tag me along there. Let's see what else we got going on.
Check out Wall Robin's High Five Habit, new approach to centering yourself. There you go. There you go. Yeah, definitely. Definitely have to do that. Yep. Oh, it definitely. It was a stress inducer because I ended up actually buying a big pile of stuff. And here's the problem. You're parked. It's in a barn in the back of a property. Now you got to carry this big box, and you're trying to find boxes as well. Yeah. So you got to carry it all the way back to the car. And I got enough stuff the first time on my second day. And I said, I'll probably be back. And I literally walked it all to the car. And I said to Mrs. Papergoy, do you mind if I just go back? She was, oh, okay. Yeah. So then I walked back because, again, I don't want to be carrying 4 or 6 boxes back and forth. Sure. I said, I'm just going to carry 2, pay. And then if she's in a hurry to do something, we'll go do something. Oh, we also went to a little farmer's market, went to breakfast. But again, it was just a nice day to be away. And I didn't really, I listed stuff when I got back home, but I wasn't pressed to list stuff. And that really comes in handy. And if we end up going down to South Carolina, I think that'll be a nice little away trip as well. Even though it's a work trip, it'll be an away trip as well. Because have a nice dinner, whatever.
Right. Yeah,
definitely have to do those things for yourself, because otherwise you can work yourself to death, really. I mean, you really can, because there's always something else to do, always another thing to list, always, I could list 24 hours a day and never get everything listed I have.
Well, sometimes I go to my warehouse at like 2:30 in the afternoon to meet the manager and go over stuff, and I'm moving this, I'm organizing that. And it's before you know it, at 6:30, I'm like, I can work till midnight. But I got to get home, and there's enough. Tomorrow's a new day, and you regroup.
Oh, hello, Calamity. Yeah, the photos I heard are an absolute nightmare. They're throwing daguerreotypes in with modern snapshots and all that kind of stuff. Auction Professor Don was talking about how dolls, they're throwing somebody or other that he talks to sells 1890s dolls that are just thrown in with Barbie dolls and everything like that. And people also lost all their saved searches.
Or is that how they're doing?
That's how they're doing it.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
And people lost all their saved searches. So you set things up because you know how you want to find stuff, and now all of a sudden you can't find anything whatsoever because your searches aren't working and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy.
So it looks like Marketplace Boutique Postcards are doing the same issue, and Don saying pottery and glass as well. This is crazy. Luckily, I don't deal in that stuff, but who knows?
Yeah, there's just so much going on. I was able to list a postcard this morning for Vivs-Views, so one was able to go this morning, and I'll definitely try it. And again, I'm only listing one. Can you imagine? I know Popeye's Postcards comes by from time to time to watch the show, and that's all he does. People like that. Again, this is people's livelihoods they're screwing with into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, crazy.
And if you're charging $1 a piece, but again, what's the rhyme or reason? Why are some of my postcards have $1 and some of them don't? What's going on with that?
No, they definitely got to figure that out. Hopefully, it'd be nice if they did it automatically.
Oh wow, Impressions rocketed up.
It is crazy.
I don't know. There's no explanation.
You check yours very often? I don't check mine very often.
The impressions?
Yeah.
It actually, is it showing up on your dashboard now?
It is, yeah. I know every now and then I'll take a look.
Yeah, I don't pay a lot of attention to that, but a couple other people here telling us some other stories over here, and we'll get into thought about Etsy. Yeah, it's every 4 months on that.
Yeah, that's why I'm not touching it. Even if they allowed me back on selling, Playboys from the 60s.
Michelle, reach out to me and I can give you a little bit of tips. Not that, of course, I'm any Etsy expert. I did sell 3 items last week, I'll have you know. But I've been doing it from scratch for, what is it now? My items just recycled through again. So I've been doing it just over 4 months, like 4 months in a week. Okay. And I can kind of give you a beginner's tip, because I'm a beginner as far as that goes, on what I found is selling and what's not selling, and how that all works out, at least from my point of view. If you're selling paper items, I can kind of help you a little bit on it. Not a lot, but I did sell 3 items. So listen, anybody would make a good season 2 game for Squid Game. There you go.
The phone blows up on the other end.
A couple other things in here. Yeah. Start with the better stuff. Yeah, you definitely have to do that nowadays. Yeah. Going to go into the rambling story, although you've said I've already done a rambling story over here.
Yeah, well, rambling something.
This one actually is kind of a funny one. So a few years ago, I went out to Colorado to see a football game with a friend of mine, and we actually hit a flea out there because you got to source everywhere that you are. Why not?
Sure.
And he ended up buying horseshoes and honey, because what goes together better than horseshoes and honey? And he was carrying the horseshoes in his carry-on because we were traveling just with carry-ons, and he was carrying the honey like in a book bag, for lack of the thing you can put underneath the seat in front of you. So he had him, obviously he didn't want to put the honey in with the horseshoes, obviously. So we walk up to I'm sorry, I make myself laughing. I'm just gonna I want you to stop and think how ridiculous this sounds. So we walk up to the screening machine, and he goes and he puts his one bag down with the honey in it.
Yeah.
And that starts going through. Then he takes the other bag. It's basically a gym bag.
This before they had this liquid rule?
No, the liquid rule's in effect.
Okay.
Then he takes the gym bag, boom, and you hear these horseshoes just drop onto the conveyor belt. There's metal all moving around in it. And it goes through the machine. So they tagged him, and he got in a big argument with them. The horseshoes were absolutely fine. Apparently, you're allowed to bring metal horseshoes onto a plane with no problem, because this giant metal thing that you can hold in your hand cannot harm anybody.
Right.
However, honey, you are not allowed to bring on because it was a liquid. And he was getting into an argument with them about that, how it's honey, it's sealed honey, what's going on? And I laughed afterwards, and he was furious about it. And I laughed afterwards, and I said, he almost got to the point where they nearly called the TSA on him because he was that angry with the gentleman. And they ended up confiscating the honey, but they let him bring the horseshoes on.
Yeah.
And I said to him, he totally played it wrong. I would have said to him, well, of course I know I can't bring liquid on. The honey's crystallized. It's now a solid. And that's how I would have played it, just to see how that worked, because they're taking your honey anyway. You might as well tell them, it's crystallized. I'm allowed to bring that on, and have them looking in the manual about whether as you're carrying, meanwhile, a whole thing of horseshoes.
Well, you can tell them maybe it's a new game. You put them on the horseshoes and grease them up so they can.
There you go. Oh, it was the funniest. But just imagine, it's just the sound of this metal. I mean, it just didn't sound good, just plopping down onto their.
Like
nothing to see
here.
It
could be gun parts all.
It could have been anything in there. That they have no problem. That they wave through. But darn it, that sealed thing of honey, you might flavor your tea. We can't let you do that.
Could be poison honey.
Who knows what they were thinking?
Crazy.
But that's a great little story over there. Well, we're going to do one last run through the things over here. See how everybody else is doing.
No friends, and Dawn will be your friend. I certainly will be your friend. I tell my wife that because she has lots of friends. I go, friends don't pay the bills. It's nice to have them. I don't have as many friends as my wife, but that's probably why I'm working so much.
There you go. Well, again, like you said, it doesn't pay the bills, and there's worse things to do than to sit there and work. I mean, there really are a lot worse.
That's what you get at. If you enjoy that in life, that's what you enjoy. That's all that matters, really.
Well, you get down to it. As I said, I listed all those Christmas things this past weekend.
Yeah.
I set it as my goal, and I felt elation when I finished it. I said, they're all listed, and the day's not done. I can list a few other things. I went out sourcing at that sale. It was great fun digging, because this literally was a barn, like I said. So you're digging through dirt all over your fingers. Who knows what you might find over there? And I absolutely loved it. And that was therapeutic for me, which a lot of other people would probably absolutely hate it, but that was therapeutic. So you definitely have to find the good and step back as well. But do take some time for yourself. Definitely, whatever it is you do, whether you meditate, whether you do zone out and watch a football game that you don't care about, Coastal Carolina versus Hawaii,
watching that one.
What is it, the Mac Attack? Are they still on Tuesdays or whenever they're on?
Probably. ESPN the Ocho.
There you go. Just do whatever you have to do, and don't feel guilty about it, because too often, especially for type A personalities that are driven and working, you feel guilty when you take a moment for yourself. You just really do. Because what's the longest, other than sleeping, that you've gone without looking, or planes, that you've gone without looking at the phone, checking business emails?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the perfect answer. That's exactly it. And you know, some people are addicted to Facebook, some people are addicted to various things like that, and that's
Yeah.
what they do. As business people, we're addicted to the phone. Oh my gosh, did something just sell? What was that question they just asked me?
Right.
What's going on? You know, I've got a captain to ship, and it gets overwhelming at times. And it
Yeah.
just really did overwhelm me last week. That ride did me a lot of good, recharge my batteries. I'm set going into the fourth quarter, assuming eBay lets us. And hopefully everybody out there as well, just take a moment, take a deep breath, step away from the computer. Don't worry yourself with everything that eBay's doing with the categories and everything right now, because you can't solve it. And they've even, oh, did you, one other last quick thing. They were telling people, and it happens when you list, they were more or less saying these glitches could be up to 7 days.
Oh God.
It could be up to a week. So that's a week of uncertainty for everybody out there. You know, they're charging me, they're doing this. Are they going to mess this up? They've messed up my categories, everything. Breathe in, breathe out, move on. It's what you need to do, because you're going to drive yourself insane and you can't solve it. And if they're routing you through to the UK, they've got a lot of problems as it is currently anyway.
Oh, yeah, right.
Don't stress yourself out over it. It's not worth having a heart attack.
Right.
Let the dust settle. A week from now, see the best way to get your fees back, see what you need to do with all the changes, because you don't want to jump in right now and start making wholesale changes.
No.
And then eBay goes and they change something back.
You can't do anything about that. But you know what you can do? Brian knows.
I bet you can smash the like button. There you go. That does help us.
Or if you don't want to smash it.
Oh, gently. Hey, now, this is a family show. So hopefully that helps you out there. Do comment down below. Do reach out to us during the week. Let us know how your week's going. And if anybody out there has found, various fixes, things like that, with the fees you're being charged, if you had any luck reaching out to eBay, definitely let us know.
Sure.
Next week, we'll let you know what Mr. Magazine's invoice looks like. I'll let you know if he got hit with any charges. And again, hopefully you didn't, but if you did, we'll solve it as well. Sure. Thanks to everybody for watching.
Great show.
You're therapeutic for me as well. I really, it felt good talking through all this stuff. It really did.
Yeah.
Sorry, I filibustered here.
Yeah. Okay.
Suspend the filibuster. All right, we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.